And for that, we're going to say our invocation, and we're going to ask Beatrice to help us with that.
Okay. Everyone stand. You can bow your heads, put your hands up, whatever you feel like doing. Heavenly Father, I thank you for gathering us here together, Lord, to improve our talents, Lord, to improve our communication skills and leadership skills. Lord, you have great plans for us, and we trust you and depend, Lord, on your guidance. Bless each and every one over here, Lord, and those who are on their way, bring them safely, and keep us all safe and protected. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing, and also for the pledge, we're going to call Adolfo.
Please face the flag with your hand on your heart. Pledge of allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. And now I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Now this person is a mentor or a club. Really excited to have a mentor with this caliber.
Yes.
This person also is a member of 3 different clubs. But he's committed to help us develop our club and ourselves. Please help me welcome Bobby.
Bobby Dinoso.
Oh man.
Why are you red? Why is your ears red?
I don't know. You make me feel something else.
Okay, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Let's do a little housekeeping here. Make sure that we have all the rules in place.
Okay.
Alright, we have Adolfo here for the mission statement. Roy, you will be the art counter. Elmer is not here yet. So any volunteers? Well,
I'll be grammar.
yeah, just maybe you can just give us a word that we could use.
Yeah.
So hopefully Elmer comes before the end of the meeting. Okay. Timer, Jesse Alvarado, boat counter, Roy Fisher. We have the 2 speakers here. Now, evaluator. I'm here. Elmer's not here yet. So, any volunteers to do the... Roy, can you evaluate the... speaker number 2?
Adolfo.
Adolfo. Yeah.
Sure. He has so many, so too many hats to
Yeah, we'll be wearing a lot of hats today. So.
How about you want to be evaluator?
So Roy is also the table topics master.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, let's proceed. All right, but
So what are the changes one more time?
so
counter.
while Elmer is not here, tentatively let's have Roy as the evaluator, second
Okay.
evaluator. Okay.
Okay, so Roy. Okay, perfect.
And Adolfo will be our grammarian for the meantime.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Yes.
All right. Adolfo, can you give us the mission statement, please?
Yes, mission statement for our club is the mission of a Toastmasters club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth.
All right.
All right, you got.
And since Roy is already the table topics and also evaluator, maybe Beatrice, can you be a counter?
I'll be speaking.
Yeah.
I can do the outcome if you
Oh,
want to.
Jesse, can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Jesse, because I just realized Roy is going to be taking 3 roles.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, can you tell us the role of the counter?
The outcomer, yes. When a person is speaking, during speech, I'll be looking for filler words. For example, one of them is you know, like, I, and, that, and so, and some other words.
All right. Very good. And now, grammarian,
Okay.
Adolfo.
I'll be giving a word, and I'm gonna write it in a minute in board, and I will be looking for the grammar that we use in our speeches, anybody that goes to the lectern, and also with the word of the day, we were gonna use it in the table topics section.
Okay.
All right,
Now, you continue, I'll write the book.
Okay, sure. All right.
Adolfo.
And then Jesse, you are our timer as well.
Okay, perfect. When a person doing a speech, I'll be monitoring the time. For example, for speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The green light will turn on at 5 minutes, 6 minutes. At 6 minutes, the yellow light, and the red light will turn on at 7 minutes, and the person has 30 seconds to wrap up.
Okay.
The evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. The green light will turn on at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes, and then have 30 seconds to finish up. Table topics are 1 to 2 minutes. The green light will turn on at 1 minute, the yellow light at 1.5 minutes, and the red light at 2 minutes, and have 30 seconds to complete.
All right. Very good. All right. Good. Good. And Roy,
Oh,
you are
I can do vote counter.
Okay. Beatrice, you're the vote counter. What is your role?
All right. All of you have these ballots here. So the moment we finish with the speaker, you got to vote here. If you take a look, you have best evaluator, best speaker, and best table topic speaker. So this is what you're going to use during your voting time. And if at all you want to advise, if you feel like mentoring someone and encouraging someone, then you can use these slips here and help them, eventually. So that's
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
okay.
All right, good job. You're good.
Well, as you all know, as your Toastmaster, I will be facilitating the meeting, making sure that we run the meeting on time.
Yes.
But there are 3 parts to our meeting.
Okay.
We have the prepared speeches, the evaluation, and the table topics. For the table topics, we have Roy as our table topics master,
Yes.
and Jesse as our general evaluator as well. They will explain their role when they are up here on the stage. Beatrice, can you do me a favor? Can you hand me
Agenda?
the book? Yes.
Okay.
I think I just really like to have Adolfo's
Yes.
background here.
Okay, very good. Now,
All right. Before we proceed, let me just share with you there's so much bad news going on about the sequester thing, the budget, right? And there was this guy who went to a filling station to fill up his car, and then decided to buy soda. And while he was drinking his soda, he noticed there were 2 men working on the streets. One was digging a hole, and then 25 feet behind him was another guy who was filling up the holes, putting dirt back in. And he just couldn't figure out why they were doing this. And when they got near where he was standing, he couldn't help but ask this man, "Hey guys, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing." And one of the guys said, "Well, you don't understand. We are government workers. We're just doing our job." "Doing your job? You're just wasting our taxpayers' money here. You dig a hole and fill it up." "Well, you see, you don't understand. There used to be me, Elmer, and Leroy. I dig, Elmer puts the tree in, and Leroy puts the dirt back in. But because of the sequestration, they cut Elmer's job back, so it's only me and Leroy who's doing our job.
Absolutely.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the impact of sequestration.
Wow.
I
Good one.
think it's the best explanation I've heard yet.
Okay, now let's proceed with our prepared
Showtime.
speeches.
Yeah.
All right. Adolfo is going to be evaluated by me.
Roy.
Roy.
Beatrice?
No, Roy is going to evaluate you, Beatrice.
No, I gave you my book.
Roy is like me and you're
Oh, I thought you gave me your book.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, you gave me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's right. So Roy is going to evaluate Adolfo, while I evaluate Beatrice. And so Beatrice, by the way, is doing her speech project number 1, goodwill speech from the Public Relations Manual, Advanced Manual. I think I have also one of this. This is a first speech, a goodwill speech. Now, the objectives of this speech project is, number 1, prepare a talk that would build goodwill for your organization by supplying useful information of interest to the audience.
Yeah.
That's Elma.
Now, it's somebody from Denver, Colorado. I don't know who that might be. And the second objective is to favorably influence the audience by skillful and friendly delivery of the speech. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech, all right? And the title of the speech is Shades of Love. Now, our speaker has been with the Toastmaster for 10 months now, and within those 10 months, she was able to complete the speech project, the Competent Communications Manual. I think even on your 8th month, right, or less.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because when I completed my speech, my manual first time, almost took me 2 years.
It did.
Well, we had a huge number of membership, that's why, it takes a while. But even then, that's not a good excuse, because there are many times there are open speakers, because some speakers schedule would bail out, and I'm not always ready with my speech. Yes?
Or you can go to other clubs to do it.
Well, at the time I was only with one club, and I was just focusing. But when you're new, you don't know anything yet, But now I know better.
Now, thanks to you, I know that.
Now, also our speaker is, as you all know, is a pastor for 1.5 years now. She's also a Zumba instructor. And with the topic that she has right now, the Shades of Love, I think she has a lot of experience with love. So please help me welcome Beatrice Julie. Yay!
Wow, experience of love? I'm not too sure about that. Or maybe yes. So love is the most profound emotion known to human beings, don't you think? And what do you think, if you're not going to pay attention to me, I'm not going to talk.
Okay, I just want, go ahead.
Okay. So what do you think is the most searched phrase on Google? Most searched phrase on Google is
Love.
what is love?
Really?
Can you believe that? Yeah. And a lot of people from different fields were called to answer this question, from the fields of science, psychotherapy, philosophy, then even religion and literature. So a physicist felt that his definition for love is to do with, can you guess what a physicist would, think of? He would think love is chemistry. It's all about the chemicals, don't you think? About estrogen and testosterone and that kind of a mentality. And from a psychotherapist's point of view, love has many guises. That means different forms, different kinds of love. And then from philosopher point of view, love is a passionate commitment. And from a romantic novelist point of view, she says that love drives all great stories. And from a nun point of view, she says that love is free yet binds us. And C.S. Lewis says that according to the Bible, there are 4 kinds of love. Did you even hear about that? What are those kinds of love? Just randomly think. One is the eros kind of love, which is the erotic kind of love. And the other one is the phileo kind of love, or filio kind of love, which is among friends. And the other kind of love is storge, or storge, S-T-O-R-G-E. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And that is among family members. And the other kind of love is agape, that though you hate someone, because the Bible says to love your enemies, and how can you love your enemies, when you hate someone so bad? But the Bible tells that it's possible. And that is through agape love. And agape love comes from God, and is the love that Christians generate to outsiders. So even though, that's why there is a lot of confusion, and especially I find that as a pastor, that I go out and I talk to men and women, and I have problems, especially when I'm talking to the men and they're married men and the wives come up, and those kind of problems, even in the Christian community. But if they just knew that there are these different kinds, different shades of love, there'll be so much of peace between people, and they'll have clarity, there's no confusion, and we'll be able to, get along very well with each other instead of misunderstanding each other. So what I'm trying to say is that the Bible is not against this, the erotic love that is shown between married people only. Because nowadays, everybody has abused that kind of love. And they get confused and mix it up with all kinds of feelings. And that's why you see, people will wonder, does she love me? Does she like me? Or, what are these feelings? But I think when people know that the person is married, at once they should come to the conclusion that they cannot even cross that line. They cannot even think. They shouldn't even think in terms of eros, but they should think in terms of a friendly love, like a phileo love, P-H-E-L-E-O, P-H-I-L-E-O, phileo love, that kind of love. So these are the different shades of love that I need to convey very strongly to our youngsters too, to our younger generation. Especially they are so confused and they have no idea what is it that they should do, Do we just treat it as, chemicals, like a physicist thinks of, it's only about chemistry, or there's something more to that? So my message is to get in contact with the one who is called to love, and that is God. God is love, and from God will come this agape love. Even if you have enemies, even if you fight with someone, you'll be able to love them. That's not even possible in our normal life, right? But God makes that possible for us. And all my enemies, today I can say very freely that I don't have any enemies. Before, yes, I used to have enemies. I hated some people in my life, and I cut all relation from them. But after the change came into my life, I just broke all that. So for me, that's why you see, I'll be friendly with everyone. And many people misunderstand what that friendliness means. So, but it is from God, and it's called agape love. So if you find time, check what this means, agape love, and rejoice with that, because that's the answer to all the confusion.
All right.
All right. Now I feel in love.
All right. We need 1 minute to give our thoughts about Gita's speech, about love. All right.
Just one thing, Elmer sent me a text, he's not gonna make it today.
Oh, you won't make it?
No.
No problem,
Okay.
we can still.
No problem. We got him covered.
Yes.
We're always ready.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Okay, now let's proceed to our next speaker. And I left my notes again. I'm
Right
sorry.
here? The whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that piece of paper on this one. All right, the evaluator for Adolfo is Roy Fisher. And what could you explain Adolfo's speech project for today?
Okay. Adolfo's speech today is the number 1 from the Entertaining Speaker book. The objectives are to entertain the audience by relating a personal experience and organize an entertaining speech for maximum impact. However, it's not about the message, but about the actual entertainment value of the speech. You can talk about a particular message, but the message is not a major focus. Before the actual speech and the timing starts, Adolfo would like to give a short introduction.
Okay. What was the title of the speech?
How to solve a Rubik's Cube.
How to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Oh my gosh, really?
How to solve a Rubik's Cube. Okay. How long? How many minutes is the speech?
It's 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes. All right. Fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Roy. Fellow Toastmaster. We will be entertained
Yeah.
by a person who has been in the manufacturing field for 15 years, and he does consulting work. I guess he knows, his background is, I think, mechanical engineering. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's very analytical, to say the least, being an engineer. And he is good with his hands, especially with things, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Let's stick to things.
To the mechanical.
Mechanical. Roy has been with this organization, with Toastmaster, for 1.5 years. He already has completed his CC, or Competent Communication Award, and the CL Award, Competent Leadership Award, in 8 months. Wow, you're even better. Much better than I did. So, please help me welcome
Yes.
the engineer, Adolfo Morataya.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters, before my speech, I would like to give an explanation. Before the actual timing starts, I would like to give a short explanation. This is a speech that I will probably do for friends, and it will require a special setup. So before it actually starts, the title of the speech is How to Solve the Rubik's Cube. So that what I will require is, you see a Rubik's Cube is right here in my hand. It needs to be shuffled first.
Correct.
So I'm going to give it to Roy first, and you're going to transfer to each other, and each one of you will shuffle it as much as you can. And once the cube comes back to my hand, at that moment, timing will start
Okay.
for the speech. Okay? That's going to be the official speech. So that's what I will do for friends. So let's give
Sounds
it
good to me.
to Roy, so Roy can shuffle it as much as we want.
He's good with his hands.
All right. That's what you can test how good you are.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's that
What
fun?
if I solve it?
there you go.
There you go.
Maybe you can help us with that with my
easy on a dog.
Alright. Okay.
Wow, you're solving it.
Do whatever you. There you go. Jesse?
Jesse told me. And then when, okay, I'm gonna wait until Jesse tells me that she starts to start. I haven't even looked at this because I don't want to look at this.
Okay.
So it's 5 to 7 minutes, right? 5 to 7.
Yes, like 7 minutes.
So now, you ready?
Showtime, go!
We start. Okay, listen to me. Have you ever asked the question how to solve the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, lots.
I'm gonna explain to you how to do it. It's not really that hard. But wait a minute, I have time to do that, limited time, so I have to hurry up. So at the same time that I'll try to solve it, I'm gonna explain to you a little bit about the Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube was actually created in 1974. It was discovered by this mathematician, actually architectural field person from the University of Hungary, Hungary. And he designed this puzzle, not with the idea of showing it as a puzzle, but really as an idea of showing it as a mechanism that could stay together, after being used. And then he put several labels around it, and when he tried to put it back, realized that he had a puzzle with him. Now, when he did that, he immediately thought, my goodness, I can market this product, and he did. He successfully did that, and initially it was named the Magic Cube, not really the Rubik's Cube. Now, once he did this Magic Cube, and then some companies with more interest in what they had there, went ahead and, capitalized on that, the cube was renamed as the Rubik's Cube. Right? Now, the height of this cube became around the 80s. That's when it was the most famous. But however, even to this day, the Rubik's Cube is very popular. And there are competitions all around the world about this device, believe it or not. And there are record times, and they have all kinds of combinations to do the Rubik's Cube, and it's amazing what you can see. They have even competition doing it underwater. Can you believe that? Doing it with one hand. But mainly, how do you solve this puzzle? Well, the puzzle really cannot be solved by itself with the way it is, because there are 43 trillion combinations, believe it or not. Trillion combinations. How are you going to solve trillion combinations? Well, you can't. So what you do is, in order to solve it, you look for patterns, you memorize those patterns, and then once you identify the patterns, then what you do is you follow up with some routines to those patterns. Now, once you do that, then you are in charge of the events that happen within the cube. The problem, of course, is that while doing that, many times, we don't know exactly how to handle it, because what happens is that, once you put it in a position, how can you return some of these cubes without altering the positions that are already there? So how do you do that? I mean, it's getting kind of close now. So, but now I have to change this, and I don't want to modify the other ones. So looking and carefully with the time that I have here and in this meeting that we all have in this party today, I gotta be careful with the time. So let me see if I continue this while I explain it to you. And let's do this like this. And I think I'm close to getting it done. But let's see. Let's see. If we do this like this, and I do some other routines like that, so that I don't modify the other parts like this, then maybe I can come together and do something like this, so that I can rotate these last ones like that, put it up this way, and I don't know how the time is, but I don't even see the green line yet. Oh my God, so I better do some more explanations about this. The routines that were created by this mathematician, architectural person, immediately became very interested by the mathematicians. When they designed this, when they went to look at this, then they thought, well, there are so many combinations, 43 trillion, like I mentioned, that these have to be approached differently. So they went, and that's when they started the patterns. They went to the patterns, and they say, okay, there are patterns that are formed, and there are approximately 24 of them. And there are approximately 18 routines that you can follow for each pattern to memorize. Now, that is more manageable when you think about 43 trillion, and it becomes a doable thing. Now, if you approach it that way, then you can go ahead and create control in your handling of the cube. so that it's possible to manage. I think I have a record time in this cube right now as I enter, because it's getting close. It still is a little bit confusing, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to touch it yet. I don't want to touch it yet because I want to be able to, explain more to you about this this piece that we have here. One of the most puzzling activities that exist is that there are competitions, like I mentioned, that are underwater, where record times have been achieved. The record times for these things vary from, the first ones were 8 minutes. Then it went down to 1 minute and 38 seconds. Then it went down to 38 seconds. And now we're talking about 5.55 seconds.
Wow.
Those are the records that exist today. And they are being archived and they're being documented. And at this moment I would say that I would like to see if I can do some more steps here like this. And before you rise, we have the Rubik Cube.
Wow.
That's how it is. Thank you very much. This is all right.
Right. Surely.
I can do that.
Boy. Oh, I even forgot to tell you that Roy used to be a magician. Am I right? Adolfo, right?
Adolfo.
Yes.
I know, not right.
That's what he used to
It's like, I was not.
get the attention of. Let's forget about women or whatever. And now, all right, you can have a minute to make your notes for Adolfo. That was really entertaining. Up to this point, he's still challenges. It's a big challenge for me. I always get to the last point, but my nephew was very good. I think
My daughter.
yeah. Oh, your daughter too?
Oh, she's very
There's one. I think there was one who tried it with a
blindfold.
blindfolded.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
just couldn't
crazy.
believe it. Boy. Okay, now let's move on to our next portion of the meeting, which is the table topics.
Timer report.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mr. Timer.
Yes, okay. Beatrice took 6 minutes and 23 seconds. She qualifies for time. And Adolfo took 5 minutes and 32 seconds. He also qualified for time.
Okay, so let's vote for the best speaker. Okay. And now, let's move on to our table topics portion. And we're privileged to have an experienced mortgage broker,
Oh,
an excellent teacher of the English language
yes.
for Argentinian women. Women specifically.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so please help me welcome our table topics pastor
You
this
can have the
afternoon.
vote.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Toastmaster. Mr. Toastmaster.
Yes.
Can I indicate what the word of the day is before?
Oh, yes.
Okay, if you notice, the word of the day that we have in the board is irreversible.
Irreversible.
Irreversible. Irreversible means that it's something that is not capable of returning back to the original position or original state.
Not,
Reconstructing back cracked egg is irreversible.
Yeah.
Well, it's very difficult, right?
Right.
Okay.
All right.
I got a crackhead.
Egg.
Now that will be irreversible.
Just replace it.
So that's one example, and that needs to be used in the table topics that we're going to have next.
All right, thank you. All right.
Well, I should have.
Please help me welcome Roy Fisher. Round one.
Thank you.
Now your vote.
My vote, no, I'm not. Table topics are always fun. And it was kind of interesting because I wasn't anticipating doing it today, so I had to sit there and make some up real quick. So that's a challenge. So, I thought we'd just touch on some of the basics of life. And one of those for me is that we may not be able to control events, but we can choose our reactions.
Yes.
So, who has the least? Jesse, you've got the least of going on today. Let's start with you.
Oh.
What did you do? What was your reaction, and how did you use your reaction to the event of the bombing in Boston last week?
Here. Definitely take over. Thank you, my friend. Definitely the bombing that took place in Boston was really a devastating moment for the whole world. I think it's really unfortunate that we still have people, for whatever reason, or whatever issues they have within their lives, or emotions, or whatever going through life, they have that kind of courage to go out there and put themselves in a situation like that, where not only they're going to go to prison for the rest of their lives, but also kill many people at a special event that was, there were families involved, people that just all they want to do is just have fun, enjoy themselves, and now by doing that, that creates a big impact in the world. The United States more concerned about terrorist attacks. As it is already, we have enough of that. Now we see this happening constantly now, and it creates a big concern to not only to people in Boston, but like I said, the whole world, especially the United States, that we constantly become a target. And that's something that is irreversible, the damage that it caused to these families, because not only that, these families are being devastated by losing a loved one, kids, husband and wives, and for the rest of their lives, they're being really devastated in a way that might not be able to get over it, the impact that's caused in their lives, and that's really unfortunate, and that is definitely a concern. We're very blessed that here in California we don't have had none of that stuff happen, because it would be very devastating. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics. Reversal, yes! Could have done this one.
He's so happy.
Good job.
In line with the thought of controlling your reactions, anticipating an event is probably the most effective way of being prepared, your reaction. And so, time to think about the most unlikely things, not the most likely things that we don't want to anticipate. So, how will you react the first time the police call and ask you to come to the station for your oldest child? Bobby?
He has to hand over the power.
First of all, I'm so glad I have a daughter as my eldest.
That's worse.
But supposing I have a first...
Well, suppose your daughter.
Supposing I wasn't a daughter, I would really be shocked. I would be... You would start reflecting on how you raise up your kids, and whether there's something that you failed to do or did that caused her to do that kind of action. So there's a lot of things that goes into your mind. And so these things are very difficult to anticipate, like events like this. My strategy when this thing comes is to first not make any judgment, because we need to be calm and try to understand what the situation is. For all we know, it may not be his or her fault. Right? So let's sit down and ask the person, go to the police station, find out what the problem is. It could be that he or she was pregnant. But then again, as as a parent, I always advise people to pray for their children before they leave the house. And which I'm so happy that my daughter consistently, without me reminding her, she always comes to me and say, before she leaves the house, she would come to me, Daddy, bless me, I have to go now. So you have to pray over your children, because there's no way you can control events that will happen. No matter how careful she may be, there will be some lunatics who are so irreversible in their actions that they will just do anything that they want. So pray over your children, and that's how I would anticipate events like this. Mr. Tabletop.
And you can give yourself that question.
Yeah, we all really don't want to think about the police calling about our daughter, do we? And yes, we would be surprised, so many questions that we get to ask ourselves in anticipation. Finally, at the other end of the spectrum, when you've lived and you've died, and you've left your personal legend to be remembered by, what is that legend that you hope to have left? Adolfo?
Oh my goodness.
It's a legend.
After you've lived in it and died,
Leave it.
when you've lived and you've died, you will leave a legend that people remember you by. What do you hope that that legend is?
Wow, what question? Well, I would say the legend, let's say, let me first say that I would like, of course, you want to do well in your life, and you want to do good for other people, right? The question is, are you really achieving that? Are you really doing that? And also I think about how much commitment I have towards that. How much commitment do I have towards what? You know, do I want to do what? I mean, am I for, you know, just eating healthy and being physically stable, or just really helping people and making some difference? So, yes, I would be concerned, yes, I would like to see, once I'm gone, you know, that people say, no, Rodolfo contributed, Rodolfo created something good, or better, even some either physical or call it psychological or historical event that created some impact, good positive impact in humanity. So that would be nice to see read, right? But more important than that is what I can do right now, so that is possible. So I would say I better now, you know, stick up my head and do something about it. Yes. Mr. Tabletop April.
Yay!
Put that
It is irreversible.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right. I guess
Great
that's
responses from everyone, and I would now like to turn this back over to you.
all right. Thank you. All right. Those are very good questions. Really
I know.
thought-provoking. Thank you, Roy,
Yeah.
for coming up on a spur of the moment. Mr. Timer, can you give us the timer's report for the speaker?
Yes. I spoke for 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Mhm.
I qualify for time.
Mhm.
Bobby spoke for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. He qualifies for time.
Mhm.
And Adolfo spoke for 1 minute and 21 seconds. He also qualifies for time.
And Mr. Grammarian?
Yes, Mr. Grammarian, Mr. Jesse used the word of the day today, Mr. Bobby Canseco used the word of the day, and Mr. Adolfo
Mr. Grammarian forget Mr.
Mr.
Grammarian forget the word of the
Adolfo
day.
did not use the word of the day, so only Bobby and Jesse qualified.
All right, so let's vote for the best table topic speaker.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
so that means that I can vote.
Teachers, you collecting?
Yes.
Okay, now we're move to the third portion of our meeting, which is the general evaluation. And in this portion, it's going to be our club president, Jesse Alvarado, who will be leading us in this portion of the meeting. Please help me welcome.
12?
Jesse Alvarado,
Yeah, what number president?
club president.
Huh?
What did you
Club,
say?
oh, okay.
Club, I said club
Okay, okay,
president.
sorry.
Did I say 12 president?
I thought.
No, I meant club president.
This is for
Please
the-
help me welcome Jesse Alvarado.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse.
All right, Bobby, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna do the evaluation over 12. A little less here. Okay, well, now we're gonna call for the evaluation. It's got the tape rewind, got it a little bit. However, I'm gonna call Bobby to do the evaluation for Beatrice. All right, get up for Bobby.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shades of Love. Boy. Heavy stuff. Shades of Love. We learned from Beatrice. Thank you, Beatrice, for sharing this concept about shades of love. And we learned about 4 different shades. The Eros, which is more of like a sexual love. The Filio, which is friendly love. The Storge, which is among family members. And the Agape, which is the highest form of love. And what I like about Beatrice's presentation was that she came across as a very credible person as a pastor. She definitely knows more about the agape love. She is so animated and really is very informative in the speech. Thank you, Beatrice. Now let's go to the speech objective. The speech objective says you prepare a talk that would build goodwill for your organization by supplying useful information of interest to the audience. This is where I find myself in trouble. Because the questions I was asked here is, how did the audience react to the speaker? Okay, the audience were so interested. But then when it came to the question, how was Toastmaster mentioned in the speech? Was it brought in smoothly and naturally, or did it seem forced like an advertisement? Now I was asking myself, why was this question raised? And then I realized that it says here in the manual that says, your assignment for this project, prepare, rehearse, and deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech of goodwill for Toastmasters International. All right. So, so granted that you didn't mean Toastmaster, I would, as a speech project, I was going to pursue this. I would present your church organization maybe, and you're selling your organization. Maybe tell them about the members, how this type of love permeates, among your members, and why your church organization is the best organization that people should get attracted to. So that's how I would tie in this topic about the shades of love, and that you said these are the kinds of topics that we deal in our church. Okay, so I would probably just stop right there in that type of suggestion. But the other thing too is on the other comments on the information presented. Did the speaker perform service for the audience? Obviously, things like this, anything that's informational, especially about agape love. I wish you could talk more about agape love. It's really from the church point of view, because I know agape means love, God, God of love. So that I think sums up my evaluation. Basically, number one, read the project first. And number two, when you have a topic like this and you have to relate it to the speech objective, then there's a suggestion I gave to you, like to your church, to make it a really. I would go on to say that I would not write on this, so that maybe you can try this project again next time. All right?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. General.
All right, good job, Bobby. Thank you, Brown. Good job.
Get erase my name and for next time.
And now I'm going to call the next evaluator who is evaluating Adolfo Morataya, Mr. Roy Fisher.
Come on,
All right. Good job, Roy. Good job.
Thank you. Rubik's Cube. I remember the first time I saw a Rubik's Cube and tried it. About 30 seconds later, I threw it down. That's not right. Too functional. The questions that are asked, I think, on this particular evaluation are really appropriate. First of all, was what indicated to me that the audience was entertained. Well, I think that the second you brought out the Rubik's Cube, everybody was entertained, because everybody's had the frustration of not being able to solve it. And you did a very, I was watching your body language and your verbiage, which was very much a magician, of doing a lot of verbal distraction, so that the people were bouncing back between the words and the visual, which really didn't match, therefore they were very distracting. Which is great. That's how you keep the tension in the room. Your use of the cube as you're talking and shifting it around all the time and creating the uncertainty about whether you're ever going to get there. Yet you did have it solved when you got here, so probably you do know how to solve it, but there's still that ongoing question. The conclusion, how did it work? How did your conclusion relate to your talk? Obviously, using the cube was just the center of it and very effective. And how could you improve it? Well, what you might want to do just to wow the audience more is that at the point that you ran out of time, that you realize you're almost done, is that you go ahead and conclude it and then mix it up for about 30 seconds yourself again, and then solve it again as quick as you can in like 15 seconds, and show us all how brilliant you are and how dumb we are. Because I think that if you did that at the end, you would get a really rousing, because everybody knows how difficult it is. If you can solve it in 10 or 15 seconds, or even a minute in that time that you've stalled on, I think everyone would be really, really impressed. And lastly, what would you say about the strongest asset in this entertaining speaking? I think the strongest asset was the choice you made of the subject. It wasn't, the subject itself is so universally captivating in a negative sense of the word, not physically painful, but still negative, because everybody's been frustrated by it, that it becomes like the magician pulling the flowers out of the hat. So I congratulate you on a very well done, very entertaining speech. Back over to our Toastmaster, or who is our...
Coming up? No, I'm taking notes on it. I got multiple roles. Thank you, Roy. Doing the out counter and all the other things. Good job. It was definitely a great speech. I'm going to call for timer's report.
Yes.
And that would be me. Already up here. Okay. I said let me take notes too. Jesse said okay. Bobby spoke for 2 minutes and 53 seconds.
53?
What?
I mean, 2 minutes and 53 seconds.
53.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No, yeah,
Seconds.
2 to 3 minutes, right?
Yes, very good. And Roy took 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Okay.
You also
All right.
qualify for time.
All right. So let's vote for you.
Now let's please vote for the best evaluator.
Already?
I have my little, can I have
Oh, you can use the one that I had there. The paper.
Thank you. Okay, well, Beatrice is taking care of the boats.
Yeah.
We're also gonna continue. And I'm gonna return control too. We'll do a little evaluation, right?
Oh, before you give your evaluation, you might want to ask the grammarian for any report in addition to what
Okay.
you observed.
Well, I guess I observe good grammar, but also calm, paused speeches among all of us. So I think that was good.
Okay.
There was not any exaggeration. I don't know about myself much, but I would say it was pretty stable type of talk, and that's good. It's
Okay.
calm down.
Okay, good job. And one more thing before I return control. Thank you for reminding me, Bobby. Oh, I am the outcounter, and I'm gonna go over the outcounter. Bobby said 3 odds and 6 souls.
Wow.
Beatrice, 2 you know.
Oh,
Okay.
Myself, 1 and that's because I was doing the outcounting. And Adolfo, I don't know if anyone catch when I was speaking here. Adolfo said 2 odds and 5 souls.
All right.
And Mr. Roy, 5 odds
what?
and 4 so. That's complete. All right. And now I'm going to return control. When a little evaluation about our meeting today, I believe that it was, even though it was 5 of us, it still went great. Adolfo did a great speech on the cue, and also Beatrice about the great love she always loses here in the club, and continue promoting the love, which I think is a great idea. To see someone with the spirit of love, someone who really cares for people, and it's open to just nothing, to do nothing and give nothing but love. And I know she always continue doing that because I was from in the church, I was creating events, even giving food, free food to people, and that's out of love. It really is out of love because all that is really takes effort, work, and a little expense, but it's really also be given from the heart out of love. So we really acknowledge you for that, Beatrice. And with that being said, I'm going to return control to the Toastmaster of the day, Bobby Conseco. Got it right today.
Good job. Well, this is what the essence of Toastmaster really is. It doesn't matter how many you are in the club. It could be 5, 20, or 3. There was one time in my home club, we were down to 3 people.
Wow.
And even those 3 people, they continue with the meeting, each taking different roles. The whole idea is, as long as we're disciplined to continue with the meeting, because we are here to open our mouths, exercise leadership, and that's the main essence. And as your Toastmaster for this afternoon, I am really entertained by the speeches, by the table topics questions. And so needless to say, I really enjoyed myself up here, and I hope you also enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
With that, oh, by the way, who are the winners for our categories?
Do you have to give to Kristen? I got it.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
you can know that.
let me return control back to
Yes.
our club president, Mr. Jesse
Yes,
Alvarado.
Jesse.
All right, that's all, Bobby. You said it. All right. job. Thank you. Here's the fun part.
Yeah. Get the
Look at
camera.
these.
Paparazzi.
Yes. And check this out. We have okay. The best table topics. And as you know, these table topics could be challenging sometimes.
Yeah.
And I had some table topic questions done to me that I wish they never asked me.
I know.
However, the winner of the best table topic is Mr. Jesse Alvarado!
As a VP of Education, I'm gonna give it to you.
Absolutely, please give it to me, my
As a
friend.
VP of Education, you've been awarded Bay Table Topics. Congratulations.
All right, good job, thank you.
Alright, good job.
All right, thank you, my friend.
Alright.
The next, best speaker. As you know, today we have a great speaker. And definitely always the best of the best comes up. And who will that be? It's always that question, right?
I know.
Could it be Beatrice? Could it be Adolfo?
Stop it.
However, let's call
Suspense is killing me.
Adolfo! Yeah!
Wow, there's something going on between both of them.
Uh,
He's giving
Just-
forward and he's giving
Just love.
You know, it pays to be early, you know.
Absolutely. Beatrice, behave. And it's always one evaluator at the same time. It's always the number one. It's only number one, right? One number one.
Who can that be?
And let's call,
Suspense is
could it
killing me.
be Roy? Could it be Bobby? I said could. I said could. No, we're not there yet. But anyways, let's call the winner. Mr. Bobby! Yes!
That was the easiest evaluation.
Alright, good job.
Alright, thank
Wait,
you.
wait, 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 hold it, hold it.
Do it again.
Thank you.
Another one.
Only 1 second, nobody has taken a picture
Alright.
yet. Wait a minute. Hold it.
Taken.
That goes for the LA Times. Okay. Is there any announcements? Adolfo, by any chance, anyone in the comments?
Well, I just want to briefly say that, remember all members, and this is also for the record on the video too, that we want to bring our competent communication manual always, and
Yes.
our CL manual also,
Okay.
both of them. You know, the competent communication as well as the CL manual need to be competently delivered. They need to be filled up after each meeting.
Right.
So that's why we want to bring it up,
Yeah.
not just for the speeches, but also for the activities that we do. Every time that we do anything on the club, you know, as a table topic master, as a timer, as anything, any role that we do, it needs to be credited in your competent leadership manual.
That is
This
correct.
right here.
Correct.
So bring both always, and in that way you get credit. Right after the club, you can talk to Jesse, you can talk to Bobby, you can talk to myself, and you can talk to Beatrice too. So,
Absolutely.
and any member, any officer can sign for you, so that you get credit for the activities that you do, not just your speech, but also the role activities.
Okay, great. Absolutely. It's important to always have the book, that way you can get credit right after your speech. That
Can
way it's
you
not forgotten.
explain this part of it so that, you know,
So,
this first page, so
Yes.
people will know to fill up right then and there.
We will,
We'll take it offline. Just,
okay.
we'll probably take it.
If there's anything else,
That's
we would
it.
like to complete our meeting. Let's
So,
adjourn. Yes.
one announcement, on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Montebello School District Headquarters. That's the new meeting place for our club in Montebello,
Oh,
the
okay.
Club 20. and when we have an open house. So it's because we used to meet during noontime in one of those Eastmont Intermediate School. Now we changed it to evening at 7 o'clock.
7 p.m.?
Tuesdays, yeah.
So
So
it's-
if you're free on Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday, you're most welcome to be there.
This is the first meeting or there have been several meetings?
Well, it's already like going to be the third or
Okay.
fourth meeting already in this place. So we're also doing a membership drive. That's why we're doing this open house.
Open house this Tuesday coming up at 7
Yeah,
p.m.
yeah. And also, Beatrice, may I make a suggestion? I love those video
Videos.
tapes that you
Yeah.
send out.
Okay.
Could you limit those only to active members?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So don't reply to him, because what I do is I just reply all to his.
Yeah, no. it
Yeah.
includes
Yeah.
Non-members, yeah.
Yeah, then just to active
So-
members, because we don't, if they're not active anymore,
Yeah. No
I mean, they
point.
should not,
Yeah.
it's,
That's true.
because sometimes we talk about some things that they don't
Yeah.
need to
That's right.
be.
But when I look at the views, I see barely 3 people view it.
No, sometimes it does. So anyway, if you
Yeah.
have a
So-
list of active members, that's
Perfect.
my only comment.
Okay, great.
What is the address that your meeting's at next Tuesday?
123 South Montebello Boulevard. It's corner Whittier Boulevard in Montebello. I will send an email with the
Okay,
flyer
that'd be great.
so that you know where it is.
I personally, apologize in advance, I wouldn't be able to make it because I have, meetings here.
Yeah,
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I have business meetings here.
Yeah,
I won't be able to make it.
yeah, no problem, no problem. All right, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
that being said, our meeting is adjourned. All right. Now, the next session, I'm still on a joke. No.
You guys want to speak? Bobby, want to speak next time?
That's enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Want to speak? Okay. Jesse, you want to speak next time?